Now let's turn our attention on NDC running mate Professor Jane Opoku-Agyemang, who's called on the chief of Naana, where she pleaded with him and his elders to support her with prayers. She starts a 6-day tour of the Ashanti region today in the Naana community. This follows a 4-day tour by the NDC General Secretary Johnson Asiedu Nketia, which ended Wednesday. Chief of Naana, Naana Opoku-Agyemang III, advised her to make peace her priority as she communicates her party's vision and plans for the Ghanaian people. Prince Appiah joins us on the line from the Ashanti region with more on her tour. So Prince, how has she been received? How has the reception been for the NDC running mate?
I should say the reception has been okay for the NDC running mate. The first stop after the running mate got to the airport, a number of people roused and welcome met her at the airport, and she was driven through some of the principal streets of Kumasi and headed straight to Naana, where she paid a courtesy call on the Naana where she pleaded for some prayers as she begins her tour. So that is where she's been. From the Chief's Palace, she headed to the school park where there was a gathering of some opinion leaders and the youth of the community, where she shared her vision, the vision of the NDC party. One thing that she mentioned that was very interesting was how it's very important for the youth to come together to join the NDC to kick out the NPP government. And she believes that the Naana area has continued to, the Agyemang area has continued to vote for the NPP for quite a long time. But most of the developments that are seen here are what were done by the NDC during their tenure. So she pleaded with the people to come together and vote for the NDC come December 7th. And so now the team, the running mate and her team are currently headed to other parts of the Agyemang district to continue the tour, Araba.
I know that on most of her tours of the various regions, she raises the issue about education and the double track system and how government is going to review the current educational system. What issues has she been raising on her tour as she starts her Ashanti region tour?
One, she mentioned education. Here at Naana, for instance, the senior high school that was built here was built by the NDC. She referred to that. She also mentioned the need for the people here, aside education, to also put the NDC in power, and that they are going to construct some satellite markets, and that she mentioned that she knows the Ashanti region is noted for trade, and a lot of women here will need a proper market area to do their trade. She mentioned that as well. And she also mentioned roads, and that when they come to power, they are going to help construct better routes in the area as well. So these are some of the things she mentioned here at Naana, Araba.
All right, many thanks. Prince Appiah on that beat with the NDC running mate, Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang. Let's stay on her a while longer because she says questions raised about her receiving salaries from the University of Cape Coast are misplaced. In a yet-to-be-aired interview, she suggested that she's been working with the university since leaving the education ministry. She also hinted that the decision to rejoin her faculty was taken reluctantly. She's been speaking to Daniel Daze.
And I didn't know many people were very, very knowledgeable about how universities are run, how post-retirement contracts are given. I didn't know that, but I'm glad. So I was telling the registrar, next time we advertise, there'll be many, many applicants. We won't be scratching our head anymore about who qualifies. So let me leave it here.
So
many of the stories will come. As we get closer, you hear many of them.
So you did not receive monies from
All I'm saying is that the registrar, why shouldn't I? I'm not a citizen. I don't work at the university. No, what is that? Where is that coming from? What's that supposed to mean?
So were they part of your terms and conditions?
Go to the university and find out again. Go and get the number of PhDs and masters I've graduated since I left the ministry. Go and find out the role I play. So do your homework. So I don't know whoever triggered this and what it's supposed to serve. So the registrar put out a statement. And as I said, the university is a very public place. You can consult our statutes, you can consult our acts, you can consult, what I even heard that I said, something about the academic board. I said, look at this. What has this got to do with the academic board? So we can all be knowledgeable about anything we want if we study it.
But did you write to them to renew your contract?
I won't advance this discussion. Let the registrar put a statement out. If I write for my contract to be advanced, I have every right to do so. I have every right, like anybody else, to do so. What prevents me from doing that? So the students I have right now on my hands, I should drop them in the ocean. Is that what happens in his place of work? Wait for the registrar's statement and move on to another place.
I think the questions only came so that the clarity would come.
No, I don't.
Explain
so
them.
The university is best placed to provide that clarity and not any other individual. As if it's a crime to write a letter to your own university, the university where you spent all your life. Do they even know the conditions under which I went back? Do they know what teeth were pulled, what strings were pulled? They don't know any of this. They can just shoot their mouth. And like the teacher allowance, expect me to be dancing around the subject.